Can we wait for a couple of minutes? Okay, it is. Should we start? Good morning to all of you. Okay, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Tilak Limbu, HOD of ENT Department of Chittagong Medical College. Welcome to all of you uh, for promoting to fourth year MBBS, and this will be the second class for the ENT department, especially on the otology, the ear part of the ENT topic. From today, this will be the continuation of the first class. Initially, first topic was about the basic anatomy of ear, and today, and probably the faculty have mentioned about the anatomical differentiations of external ear, middle ear, and inner ear. I'll be discussing about the external part of the ear, especially the pathological part. And the topic of my PowerPoint today will be the diseases of external ear. This is a simple picture of ear anatomy. The external ear will cover up the pinna part, which is the external visible part of our ear, which is almost a irregular shaped structure on the lateral part of the head, and it is attached with the canal, which is known as the external auditory canal. We should mention it should be mentioned as an external auditory canal because in the inner part of the skull we also have an internal auditory canal. So external auditory canal should be mentioned. It is some kind of funnel shaped structure of the external part. This is the pinna and inner ear up to the tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane is taken as a part of the middle ear. So, what the different pathologies that involves the pinna ear canal will be discussed today. Before that, uh, we should also, as a after you have reached the fourth year, we also have to see the patients and take the histories of the different patients from medicine, surgery, and from now on, ear, eye, and ortho. So for the ear, there are few symptoms that are directly related to ear. So patient may say the fever. Fever is the vague one. Any part of the body of the pathology will cause the fever. But there are some typical symptoms we can say that it will be the disease or the pathology will be related to the ear. So the first one is earache. Earache, this is the simple common terms, but on medical terms, we should mention it as a otalgia. Oto means ear, and algia means pain. Otalgia. When there is a muscle pain, we also known as you can get a myalgia, joint pain as a arthalgia. Earache is the most common symptoms, especially in the pediatric age group due to the otitis media. Usually the child comes with a earache. Earache is the commonest one. Ear discharge. It may be a pus, it may be a blood, it may be a CSA, it may be a blood mix. Hearing loss. As we previously mentioned, the most common function of the ear is to hear. But sometimes the patient may come with the total loss of hearing loss or partial loss of unilateral one side hearing loss or both hearing loss. It may be sometimes the congenital by birth, or it may come after the old age or the senile age group. Tinnitus. Tinnitus is a medical term, especially when the patient comes to us. The patient says there is a ringing of ear or there is a sound. There should be a sound for to mention to term as a tinnitus. If the patient mention about the words or someone's voices, this is taken as a psychological, psychiatric issues. Tinnitus is only the sound. It may be a buzzing sound, it may be a hushing sound or the river flow sound. Tinnitus. Vertigo is a simple term. The patient may say chakar lagyo, ringada lagyo. That is the main patient complaints. And medically, we should mention as a vertigo. Sometimes the dizziness will be also is accepted for the vertigo. And the facial paralysis. The facial paralysis is also taken as the part of the ear symptoms because the part of the facial nerves when it comes from the brain to the stellate foramen it travels through the middle ear. After a few classes, we also know that is process and ear fullness, ear itching are the other common things. Sometimes not directly related to the patient. The patient may come with the mass ulcer or deformity of ear related symptoms. Okay, we discuss with the particulars the diseases with the PINA. As you know, in the previous classes, also in the previous years, the different pathology of the any diseases or any symptoms should be uh, classified as a congenital, traumatic, intermediate, neoplastic, or any miscellaneous or immunological. The PINA disease is also simply classified as congenital. I think it has been discussed previous in the class, like bad ear, pre-ergosinus, enetia, microtia is the smallest small pinna, macrotia the large pinna. Anotia means absence of pinna. Traumatic, there may be a hematoma lacerations due to the any road accidents, due to the physical assault, pericarditis. We'll be discussing about this one. Neoplastic small cell carcinoma or basal cell carcinoma, and the commonly the female, usually due to the ear pricking to for the ornaments, they usually prick the ear, and many of the cases which come with the keloid. Sometimes the CD cyst also develop or sebaceous may be found in the pinna. And external audit canal is also same. The divide is the atresia stenosis. Atresia means complete closure of the ear canal. Stenosis means the the average size of the ear canal is being decreased. Means stenosis means that the ear canal diameter is decreased. Inflammatory otitis externa. It can be divided into acute or diffuse. Later on, we'll be discussing the osteoma, other kinds of squamous or basal cell carcinoma, traumatic, wax, foreign bodies, exostosis, acquired atresia due to the surgery or any trauma. We'll be discussing about the only the commonness and the important topics. The otitis externa. Otitis, the word otitis means auto, the inflammation or infection of the auto means ear, and externa means external. Ear is taken as a otitis externa. You should is the simple terminology. It can be simply divided into the localized. because the outer one third of the ear canal is full of ear follicles, and the infection, usually the Staphylococcus aureus, causes the some kind of infection in the hair follicles, leading to the furunculosis, which is very painful, and that causes the patient to come to the OPD or even emergencies. That is localized. It happens only in the outer one third of the ear canal. Sometimes diffuse otitis externa involving the whole pinna and the ear canal may uh, present, which may be usually majority case we can differentiate about the causes, what happened to the patients, that is taken as a idiopathic. Sometimes it can be taken. Few cases are diagnosed as a bacterial. The fungal causes like otomycosis may also cause the diffuse otitis externa, viral herpes zoster, is reactivation of the herpes, and traumatic irritants. Any irritants we have commonly in our community this mustard oil, the torictial launelic solansa. They may cause or sometimes any type of eardrop other than the allopathic. They may also cause the irritants or any uh, ointment the patients they take from the local medical shop or Ayurvedic or home herbicidals may cause that kind of irritants. The allergic, the climatic as the Chiton is hot and humid conditions. The majority cases during these seasons, rainy or monsoon seasons, they come with this kind of issues. And due to the hot and humid conditions, the usually patient goes to the Narayani and goes for swimming, and they come with this kind of issues. Neurodermatitis is not a common one, and skin disease. As the air pinna is covered and air canal is covered with the skin, the skin disease may also uh, come presence within, especially in the under the air. So the patient comes in the ONT OPD. Actually, the case may be due to the generalized skin disease like seborrheic eczematis, atopic dermatitis. In other heading, we can discuss with about the necrotizing otitis externa, benign and malignant. The malignant or necrotizing otitis externa is the important topic in this uh, main topic of the disease of external. It is also the taken as a necrotizing otitis externa. Actually, this disease is not a malignant one, but the features, clinical features shows are presence with some kind of destruction. So initially, this is a misnomer. So it was initially taken as a malignant, and still it is widely accepted as a term malignant necrotizing otitis externa. Other miscellaneous case can be taken as keratosis, obturans, granular meningitis, bullous meningitis. The few slides, the SS auricle, like in the due to the congenital cause, skin tag, and skin tag does not have the cartilage as we have discussed in the previous classes. Microtia, Batia. Uh, I think if the pre-ergo sinus is discussed in the previous class, anyone is the pre-ergo sinus discussed in the previous class? Yeah. Okay, we'll skip that one. Okay. Hematoma of the external part of the pinna. Pinna is also known as auricle. It may be due to the physical assault. It may be due to the close contact sports like boxing, kickboxing. When they are hit on the pinna, this type of hematoma may collect in between the perichondrium and the cartilage, or some kind of road accident or simple fall injury. It should be drained as soon as possible, otherwise it may got infected or then lead to the pericarditis and deformity of the pinna. Ultimately, it known as a severe deformity of pericarditis known as a cauliflower ear. Kauli जस्तो हुन्छ भन्ने खोजेको. This is an hematoma. Pinna. It should be drained as soon as possible. Yeah, this is the extreme. The main problem of the pinna is that it is the elastic cartilage. When it gets once it infected, it never comes to its original shape. And if we treat, we don't treat, or if we get treatment lately, this kind of, and even if the pain and the infection goes, the deformity will be this type of in the mentioned given the picture. Kauli जस्तो खाइन्छ काउली त्यो सेपको हुन्छ भन्ने cosmetic issue. There will be cosmetic issues. Yeah, after draining, there is a compression of the. This is the hematoma, and after draining, there is the compression given from the both sides, so that the recollection should not be there, and the healing will be there. And pericarditis of pinna. As we know, the pinna is a form of elastic cartilage, and it cartilage the covering of the cartilage is known as perichondrium. As you know, the peristome is known as the covering of the bone. In the nose, the tip of the nose and the pinna, it is, and especially in the lateral, the exposed, the lateral part, which we see in the while in the visible part of the pinna, which is known as the lateral part, it is tightly adhered with the pericardium, so there is less, almost no space in between the pericardium and the pericarditis. So when there is an inflammation invasion due to any cause, it may be a hematoma, otitis externa, incision means surgical issue, lacerated wound, there is infection and especially rapidly spreads, and there is a swelling of the cartilage. The patient presents with severe pain, severe otalgia, and erythema, and the local rise in the temperature of pinna. And sometimes the patient may come with a collection or even the abscess, or if late, the necrosis of the that part of the cartilage, and it should be drained or it should be deprived as soon as possible when the patient on the coverage of the antibiotic. So the simple treatment would be the systemic antibiotics. Pericarditis pinna is the positive organism is mostly taken as a Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Staphylococcus aureus, other Staphylococcus. So usually we target Pseudomonas. So for the Pseudomonas, IV injection, ciprofloxacin is given as in the first line of treatment. And secondly, ceftazidime is also for the Pseudomonas. But if the ciprofloxacin is working, we'll keep as a only in the second line of treatment for the ceftazidime. So the patient pericarditis to be healed would take a few weeks, And if we do a surgical or debridement and the drainage of that, the patient we advise usually to be admit, take systemic IV antibiotics, daily dressing, and remove our necrotic cartilage on respective uh, next a few surgery may be needed for to remove the necrosis cartilage. We should always discuss the patients as a patient party for the deformity or the PINA won't be seen as a normal as a previous one. We should always discuss about that one because of medical legal issues. The patient may raise a question of I did come for early, so why did my PINA is so ugly or something kind of issue? The patient may raise a questions. So to be on the safe side and for the medical legal issue, we should always discuss that this point for the sake of our medical practice. Disciplinary conductis. This is the early part of the. There is the red coloration and the pinna is shiny. When you touch this part of the pinna, the patient feels it is severely tender in this part of the area. But practically, this type of pericarditis may be covered with only the IV antibiotics. No need for the surgery. But this kind of cases should be go. We should go for the surgery for the department. This is the extreme one. And in taking from that, the pinna one will be normal as before. The pericarditis may, as I mentioned, it may be a surgical issue, lacerated wound, hematoma, or otitis externa. Frostbite may also cause the pericarditis. Actually, it is not a infective one, and sometimes the radiotherapy also causes the pericarditis, which is the non causes of non-infective pericarditis. Okay, and this is the rare type of polyconditis where the due to the autoimmune causes, the pinna is also involved, like capsule, nose, language, trajectory, upper inflammation, and it is easily treated by steroid and when sometimes the depression. It's very rare cases. We have not seen these cases in our CMC for last uh, 8 to 10 years, but as it mentioned in the textbook, we should know the terminology of this case. It is autoimmune, as the PINA is on the road. PINA is also involved. So we are discussing in this class. Frostbite may cause also the this is because the persons who ascends the Himalayas, they are prone for this kind of, or who take a hiking in the extreme height Himalayan regions, they are prone for this kind of issues, the frostbite. Nose, toes, and hands, fingers, pinna, and the tip of the nose are usually exposed due to the cold weather. They are involved. Not to be taken. And pseudocyst. Sometimes there is a painless cyst in the part of the pinna, which is known as the pseudocyst. The actual cause is usually not known. They are drained and the compression is given. The recurrence is high. Okay, this is the one. Surgery. and keloid. As I mentioned, there is the overgrowth of dense fibrous tissue in the healing area of the skin. The patient may present with the nodule-like structure, usually doesn't regress. This type of कसैले कानमा टप लाउनु कान छेड्दाखेरि त्यस्तो गयो भने युजली आउँछ इनिशियली वी क्यान control with the steroid injection steroid but when it goes size big size part of the cartilage and this keloid should be excised and the regular injection steroid should be locally applied but the patient should be always we should consult regarding the recurrence of this keloid. As you mentioned, the injection, the triamcinolone is the choice of drug. Chronoposis. Chronoposis is the usually, as I mentioned in the previous there, is usually present in the outer 1/3 of the ear. Stapor is the cause. There is a tragal tenderness. And ear canal is swollen up, and this is the during the when you examine tragal tenderness examination should be done. When you press, this is the tragus, the outer part of this is cartilage. When you press, there is the severe pain and patient's faces will turn into winces or they close his eyes or does not give you to press further. It is taken, you should take as a otitis externa. Usually the phlebitis is the main cause and it should be treated with the systemic antibiotics. Fluoxacillin and flucloxacillin is the choice of drug. And usually, traditionally, 10% ethanol and glycerin air pack, call it IG pack, is packed in the air canal, so that there is a decrease the swelling by the counter pressure and hygroscopic action of glycerin. There is the swelling increase and the antiseptic of the ethanol. This all is causes the pharynxis to decrease in size, less pain, and tend to heal. So antibiotic for that thing for the pharynxis is the fluoxacillin and the flucloxacillin. Analgesics as needed by the patients. Sometimes, if the pus has already been collected, incision drainage should be done. In case of children under IVA, general anesthesia, adult, you can do it in the local anesthesia. This is the slide. It is the important one. The otitis externa versus acute mastitis. This is the differentiation we should do during the OPD examination of the patients. I think this is a slide, and we will be also discussing during our OPD classes. So only for now, please go through this differentiation. Diffuse otitis externa. It may be due to the hot and humid climate and swimming. It is also known as swimmer's ear. And chiton is more prone to this type of things. There may be otalgia ear itching, serous discharge. In the serious and the chronic phase, there may be a stenosis of the ear canal. This is the area. So, ear picking should be prohibited. So, for treatment, meticulous ear tolling by dry mopping is to be done by the expert one. And sometimes IG pack can be inserted in the ear canal or otherwise the antibiotic and steroid cream can be done. Analgesic as needed, antihistamine for itching, Sometimes, if there is the refractive stenosis, surgical excision or thickening skin and widening of meatus can be done, known as canaloplasty. Okay, malignant otitis externa, also known as necrotizing otitis externa. It is due to the pseudomonas. The predisposing factors are elderly, those who are uncontrolled diabetes or immunocompromised state due to the steroid or cytotoxic drugs or the AIDS. There is a otalgia, fluid air discharge, and granular tissue at the junction of cartilage and the bony part. Sometimes it may lead to the facial palsy at the 9, 10, and 11 canalobes. So you should not take it as a simple one. Always the patient should be admitted and given for the IV antibiotics. As we have discussed, injection ciprofloxacin is the first line, injection ceftazidime, and we should deal with the facial palsy. If the diabetic patient comes with a severe ache, and always think of malignant otitis externa. This is progression, or there is a osteomyelitis of the bone, temporal bone. So sometimes we have to do the CT scan for the bone resection and scanning for the technetium 99 scan for the how much the osteomyelitis has been involved, and other radioiodine scan for the prognosis of the malignant otitis externa. Treatment should be directed at predosing factors should be controlled. IV antibiotics, ceftazidime, gentamicin, piperacillin are also added, and ciprofloxacin for oral, diplodoc tissue. Only the last option for that. We don't do any ear surgery for this kind of things because it doesn't have good results. The main thing is to control the infections. Otomycosis is the fungal infection or due to the hot and humid and long-term use of topical antibiotics. कानमा जे छ बत्त गरेर मेडिकलमा गएर कानमा थोपाहरू तोरी तेल हाल्नु हुँदैन भन्ने. Earache, watery ear discharge may be there. There is the black growth. When you see a black growth like wet newspaper, that is due to the Aspergillus niger. In white colonies due to the candidiasis. These are the more common causes of otomycosis. Yes. This is Aspergillus and this is the candidiasis. Main treatment is the meticulous mopping of the ear canal, and we can give the ear drops clotrimazole. It comes as a candid ear drop. 1% clotrimazole, 2 or 3 drops should be given for the complete eradication of fungus. But sometimes 2% salicylic acid and alcohol or this acetic acid is also diluted acid is also good for fungus. But air pricking should be stopped. Herpes zoster, it can be discussed in all in other department also. Due to the varicella zoster, there is vesicles at the concha part. The concha part are in the dermatome of the area. The main problem is that the patient is this disease is also known as Ramsay syndrome. The main problem is that it may cause the tendinopalsies, the facial palsies, and sensorineural hearing loss. It should be treated with acyclovir, prednisolone, and the pain should be mentioned. Pain should be dealt with the like amitriptyline or gabaline, pregabalin. The main issue is for the pain in the long durations. Keratosis आएगा sir? Hello?
Yes, sir.
आगो छ सर.
Slide आयो?
हजुर सर आयो.
खास धेरै त छैन. Still. Yo, keratosis obturaens is also known as external canal wall cholesteatoma. Cholesteatoma is itself taken as a different pathology. usually has a erosion capacity and usually taken as a attic disease, which will come on the later one. But sometimes the same kind of pathology is seen in the external canal, usually in the bony part. So there is a not very much of erosion, but widening of the bony wall. And when we examine from the outside, it's seen as a earwax. But earwax is limited. It can be seen in the ear cartilage part or bony part. But this kind of keratosis obturaces are in the uh, both canal bony part, and the usually the bony part is involved due to the failure of migration of the air canal. Normally, naturally, due to the hairy part of the ear, the debris any kind of dust particles are removed by the ear itself to the outside of the ear canal. But sometimes due to the ear picking or any pathology, it may cause any failure. So there is the obstruction of wax, and this may cause the collection of white mass-like structure in the ear canal. So which causes the pressure effect and bone absorption or widening of the ear canal. Sometimes it may be associated with the bronchitis and the sinusitis. The patient may present with the earache, hearing loss or otorrhea, and some kind of glandular tissue may be there. So the treatment is the meticulous removal of the debris from the air canal is the most of the cases it gets held, and the patient may be counseled regarding the regular follow-up. कान युजली पेसेन्टले चाहिँ कानमा फोहोरले टन्न भरेर कन्डक्टिभ टाइपको हेरिङ लस लिएर आएको हुन्छ। कसै कसैलाई चाहिँ रिपिटेडली कान कोटाएर ओटाइटिस एक्सटर्नल डेभलप गरेर आइरहेको छ। यसो हेर्दा व्याक्स जस्तो लागे पनि तर केराटिस अप्टेसन हुनसक्छ। युजली ओल्ड एज भन्छ एकदम मिडल एज 40-50 इयर्स भन्दा माथिकोलाई चाहिँ प्रायः देखिन्छ। यहाँ निकाल्दाखेरि पुरा टाइम, बट tympanic membrane is always normal. स्पेयर गरेको हुन्छ नि। तपाईले एयर क्यानलहरु सफा गर्दै गयो tympanic membrane के होला जस्तो लाग्छ। tympanic membrane is always spared. Ali in this picture also this is a normal tympanic membrane, and due to the after removal of the obturations, keratoid obturations, this is the structure. And bullous meningitis actually it may also taken as a part due to the pathology of the tympanic membrane, but sometimes due to the viral causes there is the multiple bullous like structure seen in the tympanic membrane or in the air canal. Virus is taken as a organism that causing the bullous meningitis. The patient may present with the pain or uneasiness in the ear, or sometimes if the bulla is burst, the serous or the hemorrhagic fluid may be there. Analgesia, topical antibiotics, sometimes corticosteroid ear drops or ear packing. Corticosteroid ear drop, topical antibiotics is enough for this case. Ear packing should be avoided. As this is a viral one, it may get healed after few weeks. This is the bullous. आफै फुटाउनु पनि हुँदैन, फेरि छ भन्दैमा फेरि फुटाउने कुरा पनि हुँदैन है। यो चाहिँ देखेपछि सक्छ हुन्छ granular due to the local trauma. This kind of cases can be seen in the OPD regularly because हाम्रोतिर कान कोटाउने एकदम बानी हुन्छ। कटन बड, चिम्टी, 500 पित्तल तामाको कान कोटाउने एकदम धेरै हुन्छ। कसैको चिम्टी हुन्छ, कसै दिदी बहिनीको कानमा चिम्टी हाल्यो भने कोटाइरहेको हुन्छ। दिस शुड बी एभोइडेड। गाडीको मोटरसाइकल चाबीले सबले कोटाइरहेको हुन्छ। So this kind of things are seen commonly, but there is no severe issues. There is mild otalgia and research needed. Polarization of the silver nitrate sticks or topic antibiotics or sometimes corticosteroids are enough for this kind of cases. I think these are the things. And earwax. Yes, this is the most common issues that brings of the ear canal that brings the patient to the ENT OBD. And this is the collection of pilosebaceous or ceramous glands and the de-squamated epithelial debris and the keratin. Usually, it is necessary to wax to be there in the air canal because it is a protective. It may prevent the dryness of air canal and sometimes and it taken as an anti-infective. But we have a habit of repeatedly air picking. This may cause the problem in some patients. So normally, how wax is removed to the out of the ear canal. Movement also helps. The hair follicles also helps for the removal of earwax. Or sometimes, in case of wet type of wax, there is a uh, collection of wax in the ear canal, which may cause a problem. This is almost a dry one. This is wet one. Detention due to excessive secretions, narrow canal, stiff ear, obstruction air canal, dry dusty climate. Kanikuzi we normally get taken as a given name in the local as a kanikuzi. So wax may be wet and dry. The function antibacterial action, entrapment of foreign body, lubrication extra air canal. त्यो भएर अलिकति कानमा अथवा कानमा भयो भन्दैमा कानमा निकाल्ने हुनुपर्छ भन्ने छैन त्यो एक्सट्रिम भएर इम्प्याक्टेड भयो भने मात्रै दे should be managed. But if it gets infected, there may be a case of there may be a problem of ear itching, conductive type of deafness, tinnitus, sometimes dizziness, reflex cough due to the stimulation of auricular branch of vagus. So कान कोट्याउँदा कोही कोही बेला खोकी लाग्छ that is due to the auricular branch of the vagus. त्यो बेला vagus पनि stimulate भयो भने sometimes the patient may has a vasovagal attack. त्यही भएर धेरै कान कोट्याउनु हुँदैन. When you do a syringing, यस्तो खालको समस्याहरू देखा पर्छ. Complication of wax granuloma. We can remove by Jobson horn probe. OPD मा आउनु भने देख्नुहुन्छ and usually do a syringing, which is the safest one. Lukewarm water syringing मा हामीले लिएर especially directed towards posterior superior wall of the ear canal. This should be taken into considerations. जताततै targeted गर्ने हैन. Directed towards the posterior superior wall of the ear canal. Sometimes if it is like a liquid either gilo or the liquid छ भने success can be done. Sometimes if gets impacted we cannot remove on the first visit. Wax softener can be given. Hydrogen peroxide is now obsolete. Never encourage patient for the hydrogen peroxide. Usually previously it was there, but due to the problem in the tympan membrane and the ear canal, this when obsoleted. We shouldn't use hydrogen peroxide as a wax softener. We do have a wax softener in the different brands in the pharmacy, like usually the paradichlorobenzene, and then usually we give a three drops 3 or 4 times for 5 days, and then come for the syringing. This is the procedure. Lukewarm water, पानी मनतातो हुनुपर्छ, and syringing should be targeted towards the posterior superior wall of ear canal. If there is a problem of patient has otitis external the otalgia, never do syringing. If the patient gives a history of ear discharge or previous history of ear surgery, recent ear surgery or history of ear perforation, tympanic membrane perforation, never do ear syringing. The patient should be one. Sometimes the syringing may cause dizziness or nausea. You should be allowed in that case. Okay. Foreign body. The foreign body in ear, nose, airway or foodway. It is a these are the emergency usually take as emergency, but not so emergency as in case of airway or foodway. Usually the pediatric age group are the seen in this kind of cases. We simply divided as a non-living and living. Non-living ma paper piece, spongy, pencil, chalk piece, plates, metal rings, organic ma grain, vegetable seeds, जे पनि लगाइदिन्छ बच्चाहरूले. लिभिङमा म्यागट्सहरू हुनसक्छ, इन्सेक्ट्स हुनसक्छ. हाम्रो कन्टेक्समा युजुअली इन द विन्टरमा यो जङ्गल एरियामा चाहिँ घाँसपात गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ किर्ना आउँछ, टिक भन्छौँ हामी. त्यो चाहिँ कमन एज पेनफुल कन्डिसन लिएर आयो भने वी सुड अलवेज थिङ्क अफ टिक अथवा किर्ना. बच्चाहरूमा एडल्टमा युजुअली एक्सिडेन्टल हुन सक्ला, रिपिट गरे नै साइकोलोजिक एनालाइसिस गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ, तर बच्चाहरूमा चाहिँ अलिक कमन हुन्छ. चाँडो निकालेको राम्रो. एमङ फरेन बडी इन इयर एल्कालिन ब्याट्री हाम्रो यो पेन टर्चमा लाउँछौँ, घडीमा लाउँछौँ, त्यो सानो हुन्छ एल्कालिन ब्याट्री. यदि त्यो ब्याट्री छ भने इट सुड बी रिमुभ एज सुन एज पोसिबल बिकज इट कजेस अ liquefactive type of necrosis and damage the tympanic membrane, inner ear, or even if you go to the lately, you may go to the other nerves also. So metallic battery should be always removed. नाकमा होस्, कानमा होस्, अथवा intake गरेको होस्, it should remove as soon as possible because it causes damage. Corporation गर्छ फुडवेतिर. फरेन बडी सिम्पल. बच्चाले जे पनि लाउन सक्छ. मकै खानु दियो, कानमा लगाइरहेको हुन्छ, इरेजर नाकमा लगाउँछ, कानमा लगाउँछ, त्यसलाई पनि चेक गर्नुपर्छ. यदि बच्चा तपाईँको छैन होला तर पनि अब भान्जा भान्जी भतिजी होला उनीहरूलाई चेक गर्नुपर्छ. इट सुड बी रिमुभ. And we advise not to try at home. Do not try this at home because the air canal is very short in case of pediatric age group and you may damage the tympanic membrane and the hearing loss may be there for the permanent hearing loss may be there. Okay, clarification. I'm talking of this kind of battery. Alkaline battery should be removed as soon as possible. Remove कसरी गर्ने त? How can we remove? Soft छ, irregular छ अनि forceable. कोबाट forceable हुन्छ पछि देख्न सक्नुहुन्छ. Can be removed. Syringing can be done. इन्सेक्टमा चाहिँ इमर्जेन्सी हो. के गर्ने त? अब कानमा किरा त पसिहाल्यो भने अब तुरुन्तै हस्पिटल जान सक्नु भएन नि कानमा तेल हाल्ने. थोरै तेलहरू हुन्छ, खाने तेल हुन्छ, रिफाइन तेलहरू चाहिँ हालेर किरा मार्ने. त्यसपछि तुरुन्तै आउन सक्नुहुन्छ, ठिक छ. नत्र भने भोलिपल्ट आयो भने कमसेकम एटलिस्ट इन्सेक्ट सुड बी किल्ड. पानीले त्यति फाइदा गर्दैन. किन? त्यसले चाहिँ किराहरूलाई चाहिँ अक्सिजनहरू भनौँ न, ब्रिदिङहरू, रेस्पिरेसनहरू क्लोज गरिदिन्छ. पानीमा अलिक सास फेर्न सक्यो भने तेलमा सक्दैन, त्यसले गर्दा चाँडै मर्छ. र म पनि धेरै नगरे पनि इरिटेसन पनि कम हुन्छ र पेन कम हुन्छ फर द पेसेन्ट्स. हार्ड फरेन बडी रिमुभ विथ द फरेन ह्युड र रिङ क्युरेट स्पेसली इन द हाइग्रोसिड. यो मकैको दानाहरू, भटमासहरू त्यो छ भने चाहिँ हामीले पानी तेलहरू हाल्नु हुँदैन. बिकज इट द फरेन बडी मे swell up and because impacted and otitis external severe pain or the difficult to remove. In case of children, if the patient doesn't give easily or is uncooperative, it should be removed under general anesthesia. Usually we use microscope for the removal of under general anesthesia. Maggots Especially these are found in the chronic air discharging patients who are unhygienic or neglected by the parents or old age मान्छेहरुमा जो got neglected by the family members maggots आउँछ यो झिंगाको बच्चा चाहिँ one type of fly हो त्यसको लार्भा स्टेज हो तिनीहरुलाई चाहिँ हामी विशेष गरेर क्लोरोफर्मबाट पाए नत्र भने टार्पिन एयरवेल लगाउँछौं अनि रिमुभ गर्छौं यहाँले bottom petri no syringing for cerebral as soon as possible. Exostosis eustema, sometimes it may come. There is a growth in the air canal or in the bony part. So there is a differentiation between the exostosis and osteoma. Please take this as screenshot लिन सक्नुहुन्छ नि लिएर बस्नु होला यो differentiation not a common one but we should take consideration while examining the air canal. Exostosis is a cartilage part of bone cartilage air canal मा हुन्छ धेरै चिसो पानीमा स्विमिङ गर्नेहरुलाई अलि धेरै देखिन्छ अब हाम्रोमा चिसो पानीमा नुहाउँदै स्विमिङ त के गर्छ त्यो भएर अलिक कमन त्यति नहोला है विशेष गरी यो पेशेन्टहरुलाई मेलिग्नेन्सी त होइन बट द पेशेन्ट मे म्याक्सिमम छ टोटली एयर क्यानल बन्द गरे भने स्टेनोसिस भएर कन्डक्टिभ टाइपको हेरिङ लसमा प्रब्लम ल्याउँछ सो इन दैट केस the surgical removal can be done, should be done. Okay, this was slides. This was for today. Next week we have another 2 faculties. We will be giving classes Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Thank you. Any feedback? Please contact the CR Ipana, and we can send you the feedback. This is the first online class for me. Okay, how was it? Please give me the feedback, and I hope it was a good day and it was helpful. Meeting you soon. For the next classes, I will discuss about the Google Meet. But till then, Zoom will be the class will be continue in the Zoom. We'll be discussing about the Google Meet for the continue classes. Okay, see you.